introduce myself. My name is Aini with name 2024-32085. In this video, I will present my multimedia practical assessment about the difference between PNG, GPG, and SVG image format. For this practical assessment, I create an educational website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The website explains the characteristic, disadvantage, and use of each image format in a simple and interactive way. During the presentation, I will explain the content of the article, the structure of the HTML files, the CSS used to design the website, the JavaScript function that make the website interactive, and finally, I will demonstrate the final result of the website. I hope this presentation can clearly explain my practical work. Let's get started. Okay, before explaining the source code, I would like to introduce the website that I create for this practical assessment. This website is an educational website that discusses three common image formats used in digital media, namely PNG, GPG, and SVG. The purpose of this website is to help users understand the difference between this image format, including their characteristic, advantage, disadvantage, and appropriate use case. The website consists of 4 pages. The first page is the home page, which contains a brief introduction to digital image format. The other 3 pages explain PNG, GPG, and SVG individually. Each page also provides a button that allows users to display or hide an example image, making the website more interactive. For the implementation, I use HTML to build the website structure, CSS to design the appearance, and JavaScript to add interactive functionality. Okay, now I will explain the HTML structure of my website, starting with the index.html file. This file is the main page of the website because it is the first page displayed when user open the website. At the beginning of the code, I use the doc-type HTML declaration to indicate that this web page uses the HTML standard. Next, the HTML tag defines the main structure of the web page, and the length attribute is set to Indonesian because the website content is written in Indonesian. Inside the head section, I define the character encoding using UTF-8 so that all text and symbol can be displayed correctly. I also add the viewport meta tag to ensure that the website is responsive and can adapt to different screen size. Then I set the page title to article advocacy format for gambar, which appears to browser tab. Finally, link the HTML file to the external CSS file named style.css. This CSS file is responsible for styling the website, including the color, font layout, and other visual elements. After the head section, I create a navigation bar using the header and nav element. The navigation bar contains the website logo named ZA Graphics and 4 navigation menu: Home, PNG, GPG, and SVG. The home menu is marked as active because this is the main page currently being displayed. The navigator bar allows users to easily move between the different pages of the website. After the navigation bar, I create a hero section using the section element with the class hero. The hero section is the first content that users see after opening the website. Its purpose is to introduce the main topic of the website and provide a brief overview of the information that will be present. Inside the section, I use the H1 element to display the main title, perbedaan format gambar PNG, GPG, and SVG. This heading helps users immediately understand the topic of the website. Below the title, I add a paragraph element that briefly explains the purpose of the website. It informs users that the website discusses the characteristic, function, and difference between the PNG, GPG, and SVG image format, which are commonly used in web development and multimedia application. This hero section makes the website more informative and gives user a clear introduction before reading the detailed content. Next, I will explain the main content of the home page. The main content is placed inside the main element with the class container. This element is used to organize all the content displayed on the home page. The first section is the article section. It contains a heading and paragraph that provide a brief introduction to digital image format. This section explains that each image format has different characteristics such as image quality, file size, comparison method, and its intent use. The purpose of this article is to give users a basic understanding before they learn about each image format in more detail. Below the article, I create another section called cards. This section contains three cards representing the PNG, JPG, and SVG image format. Each card consists of a title, a short description, and a button label. Pelajari selengkapnya. When users click the button, they are redirected to a separate page containing more detailed information about the select image format. Using card make the information easier to organize and improve the overall appearance of the website. It also allow user to quickly choose the topic they want to learn. Finally, I create a footer at the bottom of the web page. The footer contains the course name, my full name, and my student ID. This information serves as a simple watermark to identify the owner of the project and also fulfills the practical assessment requirements. After the footer, I connect the HTML file with the external JavaScript file using the script tag. This allows the website to execute JavaScript function such as displaying and hiding an image when the user clicks the button. Separating HTML, CSS, and JavaScript into different files make the code more organized, easier to read, and easier to maintain or update in the future. Okay, beside the index HTML file, I also create three additional HTML files, PNG HTML, JPG HTML, and SVG HTML. These three pages have almost the same HTML structure. Each page contains the navigation bar, the main content section, a button, an image container, and a footer. The difference is only in the information and image displayed on each page. The PNG HTML page explains the PNG image format. It contains information about lossless compression and transparent backgrounds. This page also provides a button to display or hide an example PNG image. Next, GPG HTML. The GPG HTML page explains the GPG image format. It describes lossy compression, smaller file size, and why GPG is commonly used for photograph and image with many colors, like the PNG page. It also includes a button to display or hide the image. Next, the last SVG HTML. The SVG HTML page explains the SVG image format. It describes vector graphic scalability and why SVG is suitable for logo and icons. This page also includes an interactive button that allow user to show or hide the SVG image. Using separated HTML files make the website more organized, easier to navigate, and easier to maintain because each page focus on one specific image format. Next, the buttons are styled with round corners, a red background, and a hover animation. This makes them look more interactive and easier to recognize. For the details page, I use a spirit layout with a white background and show a shadow effect. The image is hidden by default using the display known property and will only appear after the user clicks the button. Finally, I add a footer with the same red color as the navigation bar to maintain visual consistency. I also include responsive design using a media query so that the website can adapt to a small screen size such as table and smartphones. Overall, CSS help create and clean, concise, responsive, and user-friendly website. Okay, now I will explain the JavaScript used in this project. In this website, I use one JavaScript function called toggle image. This function is responsible for creating the interactive filter on the PNG, GPG, and SVG page. The function receives two parameters, button ID and image ID. These parameters identify which button is clicked and which image should be displayed or hidden. Next, I use document get element by ID to access to button element and the image element based on their IDs. After that, the program checks that the program checks the current display status of the image using an if else statement. If the image is already displayed, the function changes its display property to none, so the image becomes hidden. At the same time, the button text check back to tampilkan gambar. On the other hand, if the image is hidden, the function changes the display property to block, making the image visible. The button text is also updated to sembunyikan gambar. This single function is reused on the PNG, GPG, and SVG page. As a result, I do not need to write separate JavaScript code for each page. This approach makes the code more efficient, cleaner, and easier to maintain. Okay, now I will demonstrate the final result of my website. This is the home page of my website. At the top, there is navigation bar that contains the website logo and navigation menu for home, PNG, GPG, and SVG. The navigation bar make it easy for user to move between page. Below the navigation bar, there is a hero section that introduces the topic of the website, which is the difference between PNG, GPG, and SVG image formats. Next, there is an educational article that briefly explains digital image format and why choosing the correct format is important in website development. Below the article, there are three information cards for PNG, GPG, and SVG. Each card contains a short explanation and pelajari selengkapnya button. Now, I will open the PNG page. On this page, user can read more detailed information about the PNG image format. There is also a tampilkan gambar button. When I click this button, the PNG image appear and the button text change to sembunyikan gambar. When I click it again, the image is hidden. Next, I will open the GPG page. This page explains the GPG image format. It also has the same interactive button that allow user to display and hide the GPG image. Next, finally, I open the SVG page. This page explains the SVG image format and its advantage for logo and icon. Just like the previous page, the image can be displayed and hidden by clicking the button. Overall, all navigation menu and interactive button work correctly. The website is responsive, easy to use, and successfully provides educational information about PNG, GPG, and SVG image format. Okay, in conclusion, this practical assessment helped me understand the difference between PNG, GPG, and SVG image format, as well as how to build a simple educational website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Through this project, I learned how HTML is used to create the structure of a website. CSS is used to design an interactive and responsive interface, and JavaScript is used to add interactive features such as displaying and hidden image. I hope this website can help user better understand the characteristic and appropriate use of each image format. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.